when you go and travel and you meet other folks, the way that people live with water every day, and you compare it against the way that we live with water in North America, and you realize we do just have as many challenges. Our challenges are just different. And I think it's interesting. I know Canada specifically. Did you know that there's never been a national study on the availability of water? The WWF is now putting something like that together. So we talk about Canada has so much water, and people have done, province-wide, they've done studies on the watersheds, but there's never been a national study. And so this is a huge issue. Yeah, we can't claim all of these things. We know, experts know in Canada that water is deteriorating and there's less of it, but we just don't know at what rate. We know that the quality is decreasing. We just don't know. We don't have the answers, and it's because we haven't been able to put in the right study and research to do it. And so from that perspective, we know that Canada does have a lot of water. We know that in North America, statewide, there's typically a varied amount of water. I mean, you can look at the water projections over the next few years, and you'll see that, if you look at the Midwest and the California, you can see that they've had a lot of water issues. But I would say overall in North America, our challenge is that we don't have water when we need it, where we need it, at the right quality that we need it. And I mean, you can talk about in Canada, there's Indigenous communities that don't have quality water where and when they need it. And so they're still on, boiling restrictions, which is absolutely absurd. It's crazy, and we need to be doing more. But I would say, so that's one level of it. It's just the variable level quality and accessibility of water that needs to be addressed. But I would say the other challenge is that this issue of pricing water. And, it is water. And I think we could get into a whole kind of tangent discussion about should you privatize water? Should you keep it public? That's, a whole other discussion, and I won't, go into that. But I do think that we need to be really careful about how water is priced. But it does need to be priced effectively, and that's always a challenge, so people appreciate how much is being used. And I don't think we're doing a good job of that in North America at this time.
Right. And so, I mean, sorry to kind of put this on you, but my kind of next question was around the pricing of water. So in terms, I'm not going to name names, but obviously large companies usually purchase water at a significantly low rate from, I guess it's municipalities that they purchase it from. And so, they sell it for, I don't know, like a 400x premium to consumers just for, the convenience of it being bottled. So like, what are your thoughts on the water bottling industry as a whole, I guess you can say? And then, maybe let's demystify some of the issues around, I guess, that pricing issue. And at what stage do you think consumers can be kind of deterred and kind of almost realize like, hey, we're wasting water?
Well, I would say, so people have done studies about this. They can't figure out, and I think it's one of the most challenging things is water a private good or is it a public good? That's the first question, because I think that if it's privatized, there's a lot of efficiency for water, but then there's also winners and losers. And so what is the most effective way of water? And I by no means, I have my opinion about things, but I think that there's a lot of really smart people in the world, and they're really working hard on this and trying to figure out what the future of water looks like. I mean, if we look at, for the first time, California, as of December, started trading water futures, which is, something that's never been done, but they're doing that with gold, and they're doing that with resources. And now they're starting to do this with water because they're realizing water is a finite resource. And we don't know the future of what's going to, happen. And so I think as it relates to private companies and kind of their role in all of this, I think there's challenges with that for sure. Evidently, they, probably shouldn't be doing that, or there should be some laws and some regulations that are further kind of put into place. And there should be a lot of research and who's doing the research about the watershed and, are they connected? I mean, there's a lot of different challenges that are within that. But one thing I will say with certainty is we use too much plastic, and we need to come up with better solutions for that.
I totally agree with that. I think, it's kind of like almost like an oxymoron putting water in plastic and we're actually like polluting all our oceans. So when I come to think of it, it's just like kind of like, what are we doing? Like at the end of the day, But, again, to our point, convenience sells. And, it's whether positive or negative, you realize how much convenience is an importance whenever it comes to a product. So